Jay-Z and Rock Nation have really only been in this business for less than 8 weeks. So is it premature to even say it's been a disaster? You know, 8 weeks into Netflix or Spotify or Hulu, would we have said they're a big success?
No, but there's two factors at play, because there's still the expectation from services like YouTube and Spotify that music should be free, and Tidal came into the market with a minimum price tag of $9.99 a month at a minimum of $120 a year, when the average person spends $60 a year on music. So there's kind of some market factors that I don't think anticipate.
I would also add, if I may, that
do.
Netflix and Hulu were category creators. Tidal is anything but. Tidal is like the last man to the party.
Is it? Tidal is offering different, I mean...
But not that different. There was nothing like Netflix. Before Netflix, there was nothing like Netflix.
But again, this is Jay-Z. He's offering the opportunity to go to these small curated events. He's doing a show with, you know, other people who are on the Rock Nation label. They're offering, you know, content that other people aren't. I mean, they've gotten... Is
that enough to get you to go from free to $10 or $20 a month?
But it doesn't just have to be Spotify. I mean, you don't have to have one game in town. Think about all the content creators in TV.
But here's what's happening with Tidal's exclusive content, is that, again, because people want free content, they're pirating it. You know, like as soon as a new Nicki Minaj or Beyonce or Rihanna video goes up on Tidal, immediately... You know, the paywall has been stripped because people are copying it and uploading it on YouTube, and Tidal isn't taking it down immediately. Even Jay-Z's B-Sides concert at Terminal 5 2 weeks ago was streamed for free on Tidal, so there was no incentive to log in. So that alone has kind of slowed their conversion to paying.
What about this idea, what some, I think you in fact, have called a core conceit, that artists have more control over their content on Tidal than they do on other services?
And they get paid more.
Right, so that's the thing that's yet to really be seen. I mean, Tidal's whole business model is a little ahead of its time, because with the exception of Jay-Z and Arcade Fire and maybe Jack White, the other 13 artist stakeholders involved with Tidal don't own their rights. They're still tied up in record contracts. So until you can be your own label and actually make decisions on your own, I mean, all the, you know, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, like, they have new singles that can only live on Tidal for 3 days before they go to all the other services.
And there's no way for Tidal to protect this?
No, not until, again, because the record labels, of course, are majority owners of every streaming service. So the record labels have every incentive to be as ubiquitous as possible and monetize that.
Would you agree with Eric that the experiences, the curated content just isn't enough for the price differential?
I wasn't necessarily saying that. I was raising the question whether it's enough to get enough people. It's not whether people will pay, it's whether enough people will pay 10 or I think 20. Like, to get all that stuff, you probably have to be a hi-fi subscriber, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think also with, you know, Sonos, Bose, the high fidelity audio market is becoming more mainstream. So Tidal has a little bit of a niche there, but is that enough to drive the 15 million subscribers that Spotify has?
I want to know about Beats. I want to know what Apple is doing. I want to know what Jimmy Iovine is doing, and what kind of a threat, if any, they pose not just to Tidal but to everybody else.
Well, here's two things that Apple poses the most serious threat to Tidal. One, Apple has incredible marketing spend and brand power, obviously. You know, whenever they launch a new product, they go big. Like, they're spending a minimum of $100 million that first month when the whole company's behind it. Tidal spent maybe $10 million marketing itself. And there's also the fact that Jimmy Iovine has directly gone after all the artists that were supposed to be involved with Tidal. Like, Drake was literally a Tidal partner until 2 days before the launch, and then he mysteriously disappeared.
But could Tidal exist and not be a big threat to Spotify? I mean, in terms of TV content...
Then it's by definition a failure.
Why? Why does it have to be a failure? Why couldn't it just be a niche player and do fine for what it is?
Here's the thing: when you gift equity to 16 artists, you're not even asking them to put in capital, and you
isn't that the way of celebrity now? Own a business, put no money in. I mean,
and you buy a company for $56 million, which is relatively affordable in the grand scheme. Maybe you're looking to flip it in a couple of years and make your friends some money. We'll see.
Hey, Beats got sold for $3 billion.
Seriously, to Apple, the smart guys.